We move on. In recent years, Nigeria has made significant strides towards strengthening its democratic institutions. The 2023 elections marked a pivotal moment with millions of Nigerians exercising their right to vote. However, challenges persist. Now, issues like electoral violence, corruption, and ethnic tensions continue to pose threats to the nation's democratic progress. Despite these challenges, Nigeria remains committed to the democratic path. Now, citizens are engaged and civil society organizations play a vital role in advocating for accountability and transparency. While Nigeria's democracy faces hurdles, it continues to evolve, with citizens and leaders working to build a more inclusive and stable democratic future. Well, now I'm being joined by Dr. Adedayo Kayode, a socio-political technocrat, to further discuss this. Thank you so much for joining us, Adedayo.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you. All right, so now, Mr. Adedayo, how would you evaluate the country's electoral process, especially since 1999 till date, now taking into account recent election developments?
Yes, you see, when you take the trajectory look at our electoral system from 1999 till date, we see that it has been growing. And some of the mistakes of the past have been dealt with from consecutive elections. It will have been dealt with to a very large percentage in this last election, if only the rule of law had been observed, if only the recommended guidelines by the electoral law of 2022 have been followed, and if only the sanctity of our constitution have been maintained. But unfortunately, this last election had shown that, hey, no matter the kind of rules and regulations we are putting on ground, when the political actors are not willing, or some of the political actors are not willing and are bent on stealing and running away with victory, what we have perceived at the last election will continue, especially when we are not ready to also have some punitive measures upon detractors of our guidelines. Then between you and me, we're going to make any progress. Whatever has happened, we're all privy to it. And it's now history for us to live above it coming election.
All right, Doctor. Now, for Nigerians who see no reason to vote due to leadership failure, election violence, and other factors, what do you think can be done to encourage them to be more involved, be it local or national polls?
There is nothing that can be done other than ensuring the sanctity of our rule of law in terms of following to letters the dictated guidelines according to the electoral laws and our constitution. I will give you an example. I was among those that started conscientizing Nigerians shortly before the last election that they should eschew from political apathy. Rather, they should embrace their rights and obligations as it concerns their franchise. But unfortunately, even the leadership of INEC itself that was in the forefront of 2022 electoral guidelines, inclusive of the electronic voting, promising day and night that there is no going back on electronic devices being used in this last election in terms of beavers, and then displaying of real-time results on the IRF from each polling unit. This same INEC chairman orchestrated non-adherence to that. And while Nigerians were still sleeping, in the wee hours of the day, he announced the result of the election. He came to court and claiming glitches. And in a situation, nobody is saying there couldn't be a glitch. Nobody is saying that. There could be. But then, what are the constitutional provisions to resolving such a glitch? I will give you an example of a lawn tennis tournament. It's sunny. Yes, everybody knows that you don't play lawn tennis inside the rain, but you cannot also stop the rain from falling. When the rain is falling, it is seen as a glitch. So any umpire that declares a winner based on that glitch occurred, there are punitive measures for such umpire. Because what you're supposed to do is to stop the game and then continue the game immediately after rainfall when the lawn tennis court have been cleaned. So you are not supposed to declare a winner. But look at what happened now. It has further increased people's apathy to our electoral process.
All right, Doctor. I actually like the fact that you touched on some of the challenges that INEC faced during the last elections. But what areas do you think they need to seriously improve on and probably, put to test in the upcoming off-cycle elections, coming up in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states, respectively?
There is nothing, I've been saying it, there is nothing wrong with our electoral laws. Nothing too wrong with our constitution, but the people that are implementing such. So the only thing that people of Kogi State and other states that are going to experience of for period election, the only thing they are expecting is nothing other than sincerity, full compliance to the already stated rules and regulations guiding our electoral process. If such a thing can be maintained, especially by INEC, I can assure you the court cases will be highly minimal. But the moment you are contravening the rules and regulations, definitely people will not love it. And the next thing will be to go to court, and the judiciary is another problem. Anyway, because questions are not arising from that, let us leave that for now.
All right.
In the lead.
All right, Doctor, while we wrap up, now let's take a look at the role of the judiciary. How would you say it has fared in settling election disputes? Has it been impartial and diligent in its judgment?
No, you see, I will not deceive you, and let the truth be told today. Our judiciary has turned our nation into a laughingstock within the Committee of Nations. What do I mean? And I will show you this. The judiciary is supposed to be an independent arbiter among contending parties. As much as you are supposed to be independent, you should also be seen to be impartial. How will you be seen to be impartial? By following the guidelines, the dictates of the Constitution. And I will give you an example here now. The issue of glitch being mentioned by INEC, because INEC testified that there was a glitch. What is the judiciary supposed to do as regards that? Two, there was the issue of double nomination of Shettima, well proven. But in the delivery of justice, he said, yes, there is what we call sequential process in our constitution. But we should leave that and look at the intention of Shettima. Yes, Shettima wrote a resignation letter. But that resignation letter, was it within the stipulated time as regards the electoral guideline and our constitution? No. So why are you now saying we should look away at the dictate of the constitution and look at personal intention? Now, also look at the issue of INEC. The chairman of INEC came out severally.
All right, Dr. Adedayo.
Sorry, one second. To say who will use this.
All right, sadly, we'd have to, let you go now. But thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to discuss this issue with us.